Yeah, one more question. Now that you're talking about that, is Donald Trump the same guy today that you knew in 2012?
No. Well, listen, I hope. I don't know. I certainly have not seen I haven't seen much evidence of the person who I knew and worked with. But I do think that there are glimmers of a person who does want to be liked, who wants to be loved, really. And I hope that that person shows himself more over the next 4 years because he doesn't have to lose again. Mm-hmm. And that's all he really didn't want to do. He just didn't want to lose. He never has to lose again. He never has to run again. And he can, if he wants, spend the next 4 years proving all the people who don't like him wrong. And there's no better way to get back at people who don't like you than to prove them wrong. And if he will spend those 4 years trying to prove everybody who said he was going to ruin the country and destroy democracy, if he will spend the next 4 years trying to prove them wrong, that would be lovely. I'm just going to try my best to remain hopeful.
That's a great outlook on it.
Yeah. What are the actual chances of that?
You never know.
I just keep going back to the fact that I do believe that the reason that he was unwilling to accept the results in 2020 are not really because he wanted to continue to be president, but simply because he does not want to lose. He does not like to lose. He does not like it. He refuses to accept it. That's why he doesn't apologize for anything. He thinks it's weak. He didn't want to accept that he had lost meant that he had to admit that over half the country did not want him to be president, and he wasn't going to do that. And there is benefit. This time he's won. He's won the popular vote also. He has won the most decisively that he ever will again, and he doesn't have to run again. He won't run again. He can't run again. So
You sure about that?
Yeah, I'm sure that the Constitution does not allow that. Absolutely.
Today, it doesn't.
Well, the Constitution takes a lot more to be changed than just one person saying it has to be changed. I mean, 34 states have to ratify it. I don't think we have 34 states that'll ratify that change. So it is. I also don't think he has any desire to be president personally. I just don't think he wants to be president. He doesn't not want to be president, but I don't think that's his main goal. His main goal is being the most important person or the most popular or whatnot. And I think, there is a chance that he will want. What are the chances? I don't know. He's going to be president for the next 4 years. It's going to happen. And so I can spend the next 4 years giving myself more ulcers, or I can hope that he, I said to somebody not too long ago that when he used to fire somebody on the show, America would only see a few minutes, a second or two of him saying, "Zach, you're fired." But truthfully, he would spend like 30 minutes, and I'm not exaggerating here, praising whoever was. We knew who was going to get fired 20 minutes before it happened, because he would praise them for 20 minutes before he could finally muster up enough to say, because he did not want to hurt somebody. He didn't want someone to not like him. And when he was about to fire George Takei, he just did not have it in him to just say, "George, screw you, you're fired." He would praise how much and we could see it coming, like, "Oh, well, we know who's going this week because he's praising George a lot." So, and then he would fire them. There's a piece of him that just wants people to like him. And he doesn't have that many folks loving him right now. I mean, even people who voted for him, a lot of them are, took him over the alternative, for them at least. And I think that he has the chance to improve his legacy. He's gotten this office again with over 50%. He's never going to get 70% of America to love him. He knows that. But he also doesn't anymore need to appeal to the basest of the group that elected him. He doesn't have to appeal to the racist faction. He doesn't have to appeal to the anti-Semitic faction. He could, if he was advised well, spend 4 years trying to do some of the things that even Democrats would be cool with. He could spend some time making his legacy better. And I just, I hope he's listening.
If you were advising him, what would you say?
No, well, I've just said it. I mean, I said
But
I would just.
in what ways should he improve the country?
I'm sorry.
In what ways do you think he can improve the country?
Well, listen, he's talked about. I mean, he's talked about capping interest rates for credit cards at 10%. That's something Bernie Sanders wants to do. Also, I'm doing so much more politics than I should be, but I'll do it. That's something Bernie Sanders has wanted to do. He talked for a long time about improving the infrastructure in this country, which, yes, President Biden has done a good job on, but there's still plenty more to be done. We do have a broken immigration system. His basest solutions, the most aggressive and demeaning, dehumanizing ways of handling that are absolutely not the way to go. There's certainly a way. I hope that there's a way that he could find compromise there. That to me is not deporting 10 million people. It's just not good for the economy. But there's certainly, hopefully, a way that he could improve the legal immigration system. I mean, there's a lot of things that he could do that might not satisfy the furthest extreme parts of his base, but would satisfy a much larger chunk of America. And he doesn't need that furthest extreme because he's not going to run again. And I guess that's what I would advise him on. I would say that people who advised him his first term, who told him, no matter what you do, you're never going to get Democrats to like you, so you have to keep satisfying this far right wing of the party, were probably right. I mean, I'm not glad that he did that, but from a political standpoint, they were probably right that he had to satisfy those folks. But he doesn't anymore. And so I don't think he cares about what other people think. So I think if he was really trying to serve himself, then he would serve himself better by trying to get more people to like him. And I think that there is a chunk of folks who would be open to giving him credit for certain things if he made the attempt.